Welcome back, beloved family. Once again, we're entering a sacred moment that so many overlook until life presses them to a place of desperation. Because sometimes our bodies cry out in ways that medical scans can't capture and doctors can't diagnose. That is the very moment when God begins to reveal that true healing is not merely physical, it is profoundly spiritual. There are hidden ailments growing in silence, buried deep within the soul, sitting in the bloodstream, trapped inside the human spirit. And people walk through life feeling perpetually weak, heavy, drained, or confused, never realizing an invisible war is being waged against their well-being. Today, we are uncovering one of the most powerful spiritual healing combinations that has been restoring people across the globe. It is the simple, yet spiritually loaded practice of boiling bay leaves and cloves, a remedy so humble yet so potent that many who have tried it report a sudden release, a tangible shift, a divine awakening within their bodies. As you listen now, prepare your heart and spirit. This is not an ordinary message. This is a moment of heavenly revelation, a moment where hidden diseases are exposed spiritually, and your healing begins to stir silently yet powerfully within you. Certain attacks conceal themselves inside the body. Just as snakes hide in dark corners, many suffer in silence because what they feel is not ordinary fatigue, not a simple headache, not common weakness, but the signs of a spiritual pressure pressing from within. When the spirit is under assault, the body reacts. And when harmful spiritual deposits enter a person's life, the body displays symptoms that medicine simply cannot explain. Sudden heaviness, strange pains, unexplainable tiredness, moving sensations under the skin, panic at night, terrible dreams, and emotional pressures that make no logical sense. Most people battle these symptoms physically, not realizing the true war is spiritual. That is why when something as simple as boiling bay leaves and cloves is introduced, the spirit reacts first, the body follows, because this combination carries a cleansing authority that operates beyond the physical realm. It pushes out what was hiding, exposes what was buried, and releases what was blocked. Hidden diseases aren't always sicknesses with medical names. Sometimes they are spiritual infections, things you picked up from a place you visited, from someone you touched, from food you ate, or even from a dream you had. Other times they are generational patterns waiting for the right moment to strike. People carry spiritual burdens without knowing, and those burdens mature into emotional pain, bodily weakness, mental fog, and spiritual dryness. When bay leaves and cloves begin to boil, something shifts in the atmosphere. The steam moves like a spiritual smoke. The scent awakens dormant strength, and the very vibration of these herbs begins to disturb whatever darkness has been sitting comfortably inside our life. Many who try this remedy speak of yawning uncontrollably, or tears flowing freely, or a sudden sensation of lightness. These are signs that something hidden has started to come out spiritually. The steam speaks to your spirit long before your body realizes what is happening. This introduction isn't to impress you, but to prepare you. Because when spiritual healing begins, the body responds in unique ways. Some feel heat, some feel profound peace, some feel a sudden calm, while others feel a shift deep inside their chest or stomach. That is the spiritual release starting its work. When you boil bay leaves and cloves, you are not creating magic. You are awakening a spiritual cleansing practice for generations. You are opening a pathway for your spirit to breathe, for your body to be restored, and for hidden diseases to lose their grip. What you will discover today is why people across the world are testifying of healing through this simple combination. Why hidden sicknesses cannot survive the spiritual steam of these herbs. And why your own body will begin to release every invisible burden once you understand the power behind this remedy. Bay leaves carry a spiritual authority that many underestimate because they look so ordinary. But in the spiritual realm, they operate as a purifier, a cleanser, a remover of negative energy, hiding within the body and the environment. When bay leaves boil, They release a strong, penetrating scent that travels deep into the human spirit, waking up parts of you that were asleep and exposing sicknesses lying quietly like snakes in tall grass. The steam rises like a silent messenger, announcing to every hidden attack, every spiritual poison, every silent disease that its time is over. People feel lighter when they inhale bay leaf steam because it confronts emotional burdens, mental heaviness, and spiritual contamination that settled inside them without their knowledge. This is why, in ancient times, bay leaves were used for cleansing the sick, comforting the troubled, and healing those who felt spiritually attacked. What you are learning shows you this leaf is more than a kitchen ingredient. It is a spiritual instrument. When bay leaves enter boiling water, the atmosphere around them changes. Those who are spiritually sensitive can feel it immediately. The energy clarifies, the air feels lighter, and the presence of anything negative becomes uncomfortable. That's why many who boil bay leaves at home say they feel a shift even before approaching the pot. The leaf carries a natural vibration that disturbs every hidden sickness, every spiritual burden, every emotional weight sitting on the soul. If your spirit has been tired, your body feeling weak, your sleep disturbed, or your mind constantly anxious, bay leaves have a way of opening blocked areas, letting healing begin from the inside. People who inhale the steam describe their chest loosening, their stomach relaxing, their breathing easing, and their mind clearing. That is no coincidence. That is spiritual cleansing in action. Many walk with invisible burdens for years, not knowing that what they call stress is actually spiritual congestion, and what they call weakness is a silent spiritual attack. Bay leaves disrupt this congestion because their steam carries a cleansing force that pushes through the emotional and spiritual layers of your being. When the steam touches your face, enters your nose, or brushes your skin, it begins to chase out whatever has been sitting inside you. Countless testimonies report that after boiling bay leaves, people experience sudden yawning, unexpected tears, or a deep sigh rising from their chest. These are not random reactions. They are signs that hidden sicknesses, spiritual heaviness, and internal pressure are coming out. The leaf forces whatever is hiding spiritually to reveal itself. Spiritually, bay leaves act key light flooding a dark room, forcing anything hidden to show itself. If there is a spiritual deposit inside your body, the leaf disturbs it. If there is contamination, the leaf weakens it. If there is buried emotional pain, the leaf begins to lift it to the surface. This is why people feel such relief. They are cleansing not only their bodies, but their emotions, mind, and spirit. Hidden diseases often connect to blocked emotions, dark energy, and spiritual attacks carried unknowingly from people, places, or dreams. Bay leaves melt these blockages like heat melts ice. They don't cure you physically like medicine, but they prepare the spirit to release. And when the spirit releases, the body follows. When you boil bay leaves at night, especially after a day of emotional or spiritual stress, the steam works even stronger. Nighttime is often when spiritual attacks operate. Many wake up tired, drained, or sick because of what happens spiritually as they sleep. But when bay leaf steam fills the atmosphere, it creates a shield around you, removing the spiritual poison trying to settle in your body. Some feel sudden strength returning. Others feel a strange calm. Some sleep deeply for the first time after struggling with insomnia or nightmares. This is because bay leaves force out hidden diseases hiding in the spirit, cleansing your inner atmosphere and preparing your body for restoration. What this leaf does spiritually is the deliverance that feels like healing so many need in silence. Now, let's talk about cloves. Cloves carry a fire unseen by the natural eye, but your spirit feels it immediately. When they boil, their fragrance rises like a spiritual alarm, shaking anything hidden inside the body that does not belong. Cloves are renowned worldwide as a powerful healing spice, but beyond their physical benefits, they operate as a spiritual disinfectant. They chase out invisible infections, emotional burdens, and hidden spiritual residue that has been slowing someone down without their knowledge. When boiling cloves release their aroma, the atmosphere tightens, the air becomes sharper, and the spirit is disturbed in all the right ways. Many feel a sudden clarity in their head, a sudden relief in their chest, or a strange warmth traveling through their body. That is the clove working internally, cleaning what medicine cannot see, exposing what darkness wanted to hide. Some sicknesses do not start in the flesh. They start spiritually. They enter through dreams, emotional wounds, or negative energy transferred from people. That's why someone can feel sick even when every test is normal. Cloves confront this type of sickness with divine force. When they boil, their power attacks the hidden roots of spiritual disease. People who inhale the steam often describe something rising from the stomach, a sudden urge to cough, or a deep release happening in the throat. These are signs that spiritual contamination is leaving the body. Cloves dig out what has been buried deep, whether it came from spiritual attacks, negative environments, unhealthy connections, or emotional pain. They break the spiritual deposits that cause anxiety, chest tightness, sudden fear, or a heaviness that no medicine can understand. Cloves carry a vibration that wakes up the spirit. That's why when someone is spiritually weak or emotionally drained, boiling cloves can pull them back into alignment. This herb speaks to the nervous system and to the spirit simultaneously, and this combination is what makes it so powerful. Those who boil cloves in their homes often describe the same experience. The house suddenly feels lighter, the heaviness in the air disappears, and the atmosphere becomes cleaner. This is because cloves chase out spiritual pollution, release trap air, de-energy, and clear invisible darkness. If you've ever felt like something is following you, or your home feels spiritually heavy, or your mind feels clouded, this herb has the power to break those invisible chains. The steam rises like a cleansing fire, and anything hiding inside you spiritually begins to react. This herb works strongly against spiritual diseases that enter through the mind. Thoughts of fear, confusion, sadness, strange dreams, panic attacks, and unexplained emotional weakness often come from spiritual contamination. Cloves attack these things from the root. When the steam enters your mind through your breathing, it begins to loosen the grip of those spiritual attacks. Many report a rush of peace replacing fear, or sudden mental clarity after long periods of fog. That is because cloves are working on the deepest part of your spirit, clearing out negative vibrations that were feeding emotional pain and spiritual weakness. This is not just healing, it is spiritual purification in motion. The power of cloves intensifies when someone carries sickness symptoms that appear and disappear randomly. This type of sickness is usually spiritual, caused by negative energy sitting inside the body. Cloves disrupt this pattern. Once the steam enters you, the hidden disease cannot hide anymore. Some feel the urge to cry. Others feel sudden relief in their chest or stomach. Some feel the body growing lighter, as if a heavy load just left. This is because cloves command hidden diseases to come out spiritually. They do not ask gently. They force the sickness to move. And when the sickness loses its hiding place inside the spirit, the body begins to heal, emotions settle, and the mind becomes clear once again. That is the spiritual authority of cloves. But when bay leaves and cloves come together in one pot, the atmosphere shifts in a way that is impossible to ignore. These two herbs carry different spiritual assignments, and when they meet, they create a spiritual synergy that confronts every hidden disease with overwhelming force. Bay leaves cleanse, cloves disinfect. And when both begin to boil, the steam rises like a double-edged sword, cutting through invisible sickness hiding in the body. Many report that the moment they boil both herbs together, they feel a stronger heat, a sharper scent, and a sudden awakening inside their spirit. This combination does not work quietly. It shakes the spiritual realm around you. It disturbs whatever has been sitting comfortably inside your body, whether it's emotional heaviness, spiritual toxins, or sickness carried from dreams, environments, or negative people. These two herbs create a healing wind, a spiritual fire, and a cleansing wave all at once. This combination works deeply because bay leaves open the spiritual pathways, while cloves enter like soldiers attacking the source of contamination. The bay leaf prepares the atmosphere inside your spirit, breaking walls and loosening blockages, while the clove enters those open spaces and removes what was hiding. That's why some feel the impact more strongly: a pull in the chest, a rising heat in the back, or a tingling in the stomach. These reactions are signs the steam has entered the inner parts of the body spiritually, disturbing things lying silent. These two herbs don't just cleanse, they confront. They don't just heal, they expose. And when exposure begins spiritually, release follows naturally. The combined scent of bay leaves and cloves carries a vibration that travels into the deepest part of the human spirit. The moment the smell fills a room, any negative energy hiding inside you begins to react. Some feel the need to breathe deeply, repeatedly. Some feel sudden tears. Some feel a wave of calm. And some feel heat moving across their shoulders. These are signs that spiritual sickness is coming out. Hidden diseases survive in darkness, silence, and blocked emotions. But when the steam of these two herbs rises around you, the darkness loses strength instantly. The fragrance breaks spiritual deposits, emotional blockages, and the spiritual roots that sickness uses to connect itself to your life. This is why people feel free, clean, and lighter after this practice. Spiritually, bay leaves represent cleansing, while cloves represent fire. Together, they create an unstoppable spiritual force. When you inhale their steam, you are inviting cleansing and fire into your spirit simultaneously. The steam does not travel randomly. It goes exactly where the spiritual sickness is hiding. If the sickness is in your emotions, you feel emotional release. If it's in your chest, you feel your breathing open. If it's in your stomach, you feel movement or warmth. If it's in your mind, you feel clarity replacing confusion. This is why many report immediate change. The herbs locate the sickness spiritually and begin to break it from the inside. You are not just boiling herbs. You are activating a spiritual cleansing session that goes beyond human understanding. When you sit near the pot, inhale the steam gently, or let the fragrance fill your home, you are allowing this powerful combination to begin its spiritual work. People who have tried this often discover the heaviness they carried for years begins to melt away. Strange pains reduce, emotional pressure lightens, and their spirit feels alive again. That is the power of bay leaves and cloves together. They force hidden diseases to reveal themselves, to come out, to leave your spirit, and to let your body breathe freely again. This combination is not a secret charm. It is a spiritual cleansing instrument that thousands are using. Once you use it with intention, wit, awareness, and with spiritual alignment, healing begins silently, and everything hiding inside you loses its strength. I want to share some testimonies with you. There was a woman who carried a silent sickness for years, the type that drained her strength slowly without any clear medical explanation. She woke up tired every morning. Her chest felt heavy, and some days she said it felt like something was crawling inside her body. She prayed, she cried, she begged God for understanding. Yet every doctor's test came back normal. One day, she learned about boiling bay leaves and cloves and decided to try it, not expecting anything dramatic, but hoping for a little relief. The moment the steam rose and touched her face, she felt something shift inside her chest, as if a spiritual weight broke loose. Tears began to fall uncontrollably, not from sadness, but from release. She said she felt something leaving her body slowly, something that had been hiding for years. That night, she slept peacefully for the first time in months, and she woke up with the strength she had forgotten she ever had. That is what spiritual release looks like. Another testimony came from a man battling nightmares, spiritual attacks, and an emotional heaviness that made him feel disconnected from life. Every night he dreamed of darkness chasing him, And every morning he woke up exhausted, as if he had fought a battle in his sleep. He boiled bay leaves and cloves one evening after hearing about their spiritual healing power. As the fragrance filled the room, he felt a sudden warmth in his back and an unexplainable peace settling in his spirit. That night, for the first time in a long time, he dreamed of light instead of darkness. He said it felt like something that had been tormenting him spiritually finally lost its strength. When he woke up, he felt renewed, refreshed, and emotionally free. The night, Mares stopped completely after he continued the remedy for 3 nights. This is how spiritual cleansing touches even the deepest battles people fight silently. A young woman shared that she had been feeling a strange heaviness in her home, an atmosphere of tension, confusion, and emotional sadness that made everyone in the house feel irritated and tired. When she boiled bay leaves and cloves, she said the house felt different within minutes. The air became lighter, the heaviness disappeared, and for the first time in a long time, she felt peace filling the room. She explained that her children slept through the night peacefully, something that rarely happened before. She even noticed her own body felt lighter, and the constant pressure around her head was gone. She believed this remedy didn't only cleanse her body, but cleansed her home spiritually. The peace that came afterward was her confirmation that something heavy had been lifted. There was also an elderly woman struggling with body pains, especially around her joints and lower back. She believed the pain was more spiritual than physical, because it always intensified after disturbing dreams or emotionally difficult days. When she boiled bay leaves and cloves, she felt warmth spreading through her entire body, as if the steam was reaching every part of her spirit and cleaning it. She said she suddenly yawned repeatedly, then felt her body relax in a way she never had before. That night, she slept like a child, and the next morning she stood up without the usual stiffness. She called it a spiritual cleansing that restored her strength. These testimonies are not exaggerations. They are glimpses of what happens when hidden diseases come out spiritually. Now, before you use bay leaves and cloves for spiritual cleansing, it is important to understand that this remedy is not something you rush into with a careless heart or a distracted spirit. Spiritual healing requires intention, alignment, and awareness. When you boil these 2 herbs, the atmosphere around you becomes spiritually active, and anything hidden inside you will begin to react. This is why you must sit in a calm environment, free from loud noise, arguments, or negative energy. If you try to use this remedy while your mind is scattered or your heart is heavy with anger or frustration, the cleansing will feel slower and the release will be weaker. Your spirit must be open and your mind must be ready. You must allow the steam to work on you without resistance, because healing flows faster when your spirit is aligned with what God is trying to release from your body. Another important point is about timing. There are specific moments when spiritual healing becomes stronger, especially in the evening or late at night when the atmosphere is quieter and your spirit is more sensitive. Boiling bay leaves and cloves during this time allows the steam to reach deeper levels of your spirit, exposing and flushing out hidden diseases that hide in silence. But if you use this remedy while rushing, multitasking, or standing in a chaotic environment, the spiritual impact becomes weaker. You must treat this practice as a moment of cleansing, a personal deliverance session, not a kitchen routine. Sit with the steam, breathe slowly, allow the warmth to travel through your spirit. This is how the herbs locate spiritual sickness that has been buried deep inside you. You must also avoid using this remedy with negative intentions. Some people try spiritual methods when they're angry, jealous, or carrying bitterness. These emotions block spiritual healing because they darken the atmosphere of the mind and suffocate the flow of cleansing energy. Before you boil these herbs, release any negative intention. Speak peace into your spirit. Allow your heart to be light. Spiritual cleansing cannot happen in a heart full of hatred or a mind full of noise. When you approach this remedy with purity, humility, and openness, the herbs respond immediately. They begin to reveal what has been hiding, whether it is emotional pain, spiritual contamination, or sickness that has been feeding on fear and confusion. Healing and darkness cannot stay in the same room. So clear your spirit first. Finally, treat this remedy with respect. It is not entertainment, not a trend, and not a random experiment. It is a spiritual cleansing method that thousands use to release sickness and restore inner strength. Do not misuse it by boiling it constantly without intention. Use it when your spirit feels heavy, when your body feels strange, when your sleep is disturbed, or when your atmosphere feels spiritually polluted. Do not expect instant overnight miracles every time, because spiritual release happens in layers. Each session removes something deeper. What matters is consistency, intention, and a willingness to let go of whatever has been holding you down. When you use these herbs with the right mindset and spiritual discernment, healing flows naturally and hidden diseases lose their hiding place inside you. As you reach this moment, understand that spiritual healing begins the very instant you open your heart to release what has been hiding inside you. The bay leaves and cloves you boil are not the source of the healing. God is. The herbs are only vessels that carry the spiritual cleansing energy that helps the hidden sickness reveal itself and come out. As the steam rises, imagine every pain, every burden, every silent disease losing its grip on your spirit. Imagine the heaviness you've carried for years melting away like wax under heat. Imagine every dark load breaking apart and leaving your body. When you breathe in that RM steam, gently allow it to reach your chest, your mind, your soul, your entire being. This is a moment of surrender, a moment of release, a moment where heaven moves on your behalf. Let your spirit receive it deeply. Now, speak healing over yourself. Whisper it, declare it, or hold it in your heart. I am being cleansed. I am being restored. I am being healed. Every hidden disease is coming out spiritually. Let your words carry power, because your voice activates what your spirit believes. As you use this remedy, believe that the steam is reaching the areas of your life that have been hurting in silence. Believe that your sleep will change. Believe that your mind will clear. Believe that your body will regain its strength. Healing begins when you align your faith with your action. This is the moment your spirit takes authority over whatever has been tormenting you. Hidden sickness cannot survive in the presence of spiritual cleansing. Believe that God is touching you right now, even before you boil the herbs. Let the healing begin in your mind before it reaches your body. As we close this time together, carry this truth with you. Spiritual healing is a journey, not a race. And every step you take toward cleansing your spirit weakens the power of darkness over your life. When you boil bay leaves and cloves, you are not just performing a ritual. You are inviting the presence of God into your atmosphere, your home, and your body. You are allowing your spirit to breathe again. After years of silent suffering, you are opening doors of restoration, release, and renewal. As you continue with this healing practice, may your spirit remain open. May your body respond with strength. May your home be filled with peace. Whatever has been hiding inside you spiritually will not survive the cleansing that has already begun. You are healed, you are restored, and your deliverance is unfolding quietly but powerfully within. Thank you for being a part of the Joshua Selman Wisdom family. May grace and peace be multiplied to you. Let's continue this journey of understanding, because there is a profound depth to this practice that we must fully embrace. The spiritual realm responds to faith and intentionality, not just to action. When you decide to engage in this cleansing, you are not merely following steps. You are participating in a divine principle of release and restoration. The physical act of boiling water with these herbs becomes a spiritual ceremony, a moment where the natural and the supernatural connect for your well-being. Consider this: every spiritual battle that manifests in the body often leaves a residue, a kind of invisible fingerprint. This residue can be fear, anxiety, unexplained sadness, or a constant sense of being weighed down. Medicine addresses the symptom, but God, through these simple means, addresses the root. The steam from these herbs becomes a carrier of a spiritual frequency, a frequency of cleansing, of breaking, of setting free. It is not the steam itself that has power. It is the spiritual authority and the promise of healing that you invite into your space when you engage in this act with faith. When you begin, you might wonder, how long should I do this? Or will I feel something immediately? The answer is deeply personal. For some, the release is sudden and tangible, as we've heard in the testimonies. For others, it is a gradual lightening, a slow but steady return of peace and vitality over days. This is why consistency and patience are spiritual virtues here. You are clearing layers, much like peeling an onion. The first session might address surface level heaviness, while subsequent sessions reach deeper, older strongholds of sickness and spiritual oppression. Do not be discouraged if the process say. EMS gradual. The most profound healings are often the ones that work from the inside out, silently reconstructing your spiritual foundation. It is also crucial to create the right environment in your heart as you prepare. Before you even light the stove, take a moment of silence. Pray a simple prayer. Surrender your anxieties, your pains, and your specific struggles to God. Declare that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit and that every foreign, harmful, and hidden thing must leave now. This prayerful intention sets the stage. It aligns your spirit with the purpose of the act, transforming it from a herbal remedy into a spiritual session of deliverance. Now, let's talk about the practical method infused with spiritual intentionality. Take a few dry bay leaves and a teaspoon of whole cloves. Place them in a small pot of clean water. As you do this, speak over them. You can say, in the name of Jesus, I release the cleansing and healing power within these herbs for my spirit, soul, and body. Light the fire. As the water begins to warm, sit nearby. Do not be distracted by your phone or television. Be present. Watch the steam begin to rise. See it as a visual representation of your prayers ascending, of God's cleansing power descending into your atmosphere. As the room fills with the aroma, begin to breathe deeply and slowly. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. With each inhale, imagine drawing in light, peace, and wholeness. With each exhale, imagine releasing darkness, pain, and every named and unnamed sickness. This conscious breathing is an act of partnership with the Spirit. You are not a passive recipient. You are an active participant in your own deliverance. Stay in this space for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Allow the steam to envelop you. If tears come, let them flow. If yawns come, let them happen. If you feel a sudden warmth or a cool sensation, receive it. These are physical confirmations of a spiritual activity. Your body is responding to the shift in the spiritual atmosphere around and within you. Afterwards, you can let the water cool and even use it to gently wash your face, hands, or feet, symbolizing a full body renewal. As you do declare, I am washed, I am cleansed, I am renewed from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. Then dispose of the used herbs and water. Do not keep them. This act symbolizes the permanent removal of what has been drawn out. I want to address a very important question. Can this be done for your living space as well? Absolutely. The same principle applies. If there is a lingering heaviness, strife, or unrest in your home, you can boil these herbs and walk through each room, allowing the steam to permeate the space. Pray in each room, declaring that every corner is cleansed and filled with the peace of God. This is especially powerful if you've recently moved into a new place, experienced conflict in the home, or feel a general sense of spiritual oppression within your walls. Your home is your sanctuary, and it must be a place of refuge, not a battleground. Remember, beloved, the enemy often attacks where we are most vulnerable, in our health, in our minds, and in our homes. This practice is a God-given strategy to fortify all three. It is a tangible way to apply the blood of Jesus and the victory of the cross over your personal life and environment. You are taking authority over the hidden things. You are enforcing the victory that Christ has already won for you. Finally, let this understanding settle in your heart. This cleansing is a gift, but it is also a responsibility. It is a tool for maintenance and spiritual hygiene. Just as you bathe your body regularly, your spirit and your atmosphere require regular cleansing from the contaminations of daily life, the negative words you hear, the stressful environments you pass through, the spiritual projections of others. Make this a regular practice, not out of fear, but out of wisdom and stewardship over the life God has given you. Perhaps once a week, or whenever you feel that familiar, unexplained heaviness creeping back in. As we conclude, stand in faith. The same power that raised Christ from the dead lives in you. That power is at work right now, activating this understanding, stirring faith in your heart, and orchestrating your compo. ETE, healing and deliverance. You are not fighting for victory, you are fighting from a place of victory. The boiling pot is not a magic wand. It is a point of contact for your faith, a physical representation of the spiritual reality that you are cleansed, you are healed, and you are free. Carry this confidence with you. You have been equipped with a powerful key. Use it wisely, use it faithfully, and watch as God turns your season of hidden struggle into a testimony of visible victory. We are so grateful you chose to spend this time with us on Joshua Selman Wisdom. May the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, guard your heart and your mind, and may your life be a continuous testament to his healing power. Go in peace, walk in strength, and live in freedom. Amen.